It is known as the land of 1,000 hills. Rwanda, a mountainous country located on the far western edge of the Rift Valley, bordering on Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Uganda, and Tanzania. It is here that we locate the Gishwati Forest Reserve, a mountainous rainforest within the Congo-Nile watershed divide. The Gishwati Forest Reserve is home to a number of threatened species, including eastern chimpanzees, golden monkeys, mountain monkeys, and more than 130 species of birds, including 14 that are endemic to the Albertine Rift. But for over a decade, the forest reserve faced acute loss of biodiversity, soil erosion, degradation, and landslides. Founded in January 2012, Forest of Hope Association emerged from the Great Apes Trust, an international NGO which conserved the Gishwati Forest from 2008 to 2011. When this NGO closed, all Rwandan staff decided to work as volunteers to fill the resulting gap. It is in this respect that the senior staff created a local NGO, Forest of Hope Association, with a long-term mission of engaging communities in the conservation of protected areas. Since then, this association protects the Gishwati Forest, supports community education and outreach, mitigates human-wildlife conflicts, and supports local livelihoods. It also facilitates research on Gishwati biodiversity.
When we arrived in 2008, the forest had no boundaries and it should not differentiate from which plot belongs to government land or public land and which side is belonging to local communities. There were a lot of illegal activities going on in the forest. People were bringing cows to look for grass, and a lot of mining, firewood collection, timber harvesting, and the forest we are seeing today is almost the secondary forest because it was cut down in 1996 and 1997, 1998. And the government in 2002 decided to restore it because floods were killing people downstream. When I asked the people, why do you bring your cows inside the forest? They told me, you know, this is my land. I should graze my cows where I want. And when I was traveling on another side, I saw people cultivating cabbages inside the forest. And I asked the same question. They told me, this is my land. Then I was confused. I just said, let me go to the Ministry of Environmental Management and the Natural Resources and ask what might be going on. And the ministry helped me to bring down technicians and demarcate the forest boundaries. This was our first activity. The process was very good and successful because local people were willing to show the boundaries of the forest. The district, the sectors and state officials were present, helping to fix markers in the ground. And we came up with 500 hectares more to what we found in the place when we came. There is one village we discovered called Kinyenkanda, and there were 40 or 54 households that were living there. Then we said we should create a conflict with these people if we just go there and say you have to go. We said let us wait and call upon the Ministry of Natural Resources to help relocate these people to another place. And the Rwanda Environment Management Authority decided to relocate people mainly because the eastern boundary of the forest, this is where you have a Sebeya River that supplies water to Gisenyi town and Burarirwa, and it was very important to make sure that this steep slope is restored. Then the Rwanda Environmental Management Authority relocated these people to a nearby village. We organized different meetings with local people, telling them that, it is not good to make charcoal inside the forest. It is not good to graze animals inside the forest. You should stop collecting firewood from the forest. But they were coming to us and tell us, you are telling us to stop getting inside the forest, but your animals, meaning chimpanzees and monkeys, are coming and destroy our maize. So it was a challenging question because at that time there was no compensation policy, and we were looking into different options about how we can help these people to solve this conflict. We started by talking to local farmers who own plots adjacent to the forest. They chose potatoes, and this time I told them to work in a more organized way. It is better that you start a cooperative. Then they elected a committee and they named the cooperative Jambere, meaning develop. I realized that shifting from maize and planting potatoes was not enough, because these farmers and their families will lose the maize they were used to eat. I said I should think about something else that can generate income to them. I helped them to start a beekeeping business that now is generating some money to them to buy maize and the maize flour that they can now consume.
Forest of Hope Association then began to mitigate the conflict further by supporting various economic activities in the communities around the forest.
I do believe that you can succeed in conservation if you are not using the community around what you are conserving. Those are the ones who destroy the forest. Those are the ones who do many illegal activity in the forest. And they can also be the one to reduce what they are doing and then support the forest protection. The attitude toward the conservation of Gishwati are changing every day. It has been a model where the community working together can protect the natural resources on forests that they surround.
When we were looking at the community initiatives to support, we mainly based on the initiatives that are linked to the forest. This is how we chose traditional dancers, because these people were mainly collecting handicraft making materials from the forest and sell them in the market. Then that's why we decided these people are very talented in developing songs and dances. Let us see if we can initiate there a traditional dancers group that will host tourists and gain money from this community tourism business. And now it is working because they are already connected to Congo-Nile trade. They receive some tourists, and also now they are recognized by the district. They are invited in different district events and perform, and they get paid. We have a group of handicraft making women who weave baskets, and we train them to improving their products and also in performing for tourists. These women are really progressing well. They have good baskets. They also receive some tourists who are currently doing the Congo Nile Trail. And we hope that once Gishwati becomes a national park, they will receive more and more tourists. And also they will gain money from selling the craft to tourists. We also work with the traditional healers because these people used to collect medicinal plants from the forest, and today the forest is protected. We support them to plant medicinal plants on their plots, and we also train them in developing a tourism product showing how traditional medicine was used before and how is it being used today. Before, they were just collecting grass from the forest and giving it directly to someone who is sick, who needs medicine, and started bottling the medicine, the dry medicine, into bottles. Today it is more cleaner. We hope that they will be able to share this experience if tourists will visit Gishwati in the future.
Alors le district de Rutshuru, dans la protection de la forêt naturelle de Gishwati, c'est d'abord organiser la population pour que la population puisse elle-même sauvegarder et garder la forêt naturelle de Gishwati. Il faut les initier de faire des travaux qui l'évacuent dans la forêt. Surtout les travaux de chercher des bois dans la forêt, les travaux d'amener les vaches dans la forêt. Il faut d'abord éliminer ces activités-là pour que ces activités puissent se faire à l'extérieur de la forêt. Et puis nous avons travaillé ensemble avec Hope Forest, pour que Hope, c'est elle qui reste à côté de la population, c'est elle qui organise plus que nous la population pour que la population puisse bien sauvegarder, garder la forêt plus qu'avant. Le district, qu'est-ce qu'il fait après? Il faut que le district organise la population et puis donner des punitions de la population qui ne pas suivre les ordres de Hope.
We are working with eco clubs in local schools. Those are groups of students that are mainly working on protecting the environment. They do greening at their school, but also we use them to go and spread the conservation message to the community. And we are using that opportunity also to make them educate their parents what they can do to protect the Gishwati Forest Reserve.
Actually have what we call forest protection initiative. And when we started this initiative, we made sure that we involve the district leaders, the sector sales leaders, Rwanda Development Board, so that we make sure that we bring all of these stakeholders together, ensure that we plan together how we protect Gishwati. And in different meetings with the district, sales, sectors, RDB, army and police officers, we decided that the eco guards will be patrolling the forest and report the crimes to sales officials, because these are the ones who enforce the law. And the way we do it is that eco guards, when they find an illegal activity inside the forest, they find out who made it. And if it is for the first time, they educate the guy, and for the second time, if they find the same individual, they educate him up to 3 times. For the 4th time, this is the time they report him or her to the law enforcers at the state level for a punishment. And this seems to work very well because the illegal activities inside the forest has been reducing over time.
One of the lessons that Gishwati and the Forest of Hope Association teaches all of us is that in terms of conservation, sometimes it's not size and numbers which tell the value of a forest. Those are cultural, those are environmental values that we need to embrace. And Gishwati teaches us that.
We used to call Gishwati a forest of hope. We believe that it is the hope for the local community because it does bring them many benefits.
The government of Rwanda has since recognized the transformational actions taken over the years by Forest of Hope Association and is now ready to transform the forest into a national park.
The Rwanda Development Board is the government institution put in place to fast-track development through empowerment of the private sector. Forest of Hope Association has taken over the day-to-day surveillance of Gishwati Forest. It was an initiative they took as people who really are interested with conservation and who didn't want Gishwati remain unattended. There is a law in the parliament to create Gishwati Mukura National Park. It will be Gishwati Forest and Mukura Natural Forest as well in the south of Gishwati.
That's no small feat to change the status of a protected area to the highest level in the country. And I think that gives Gishwati a bright future.
We are very happy about it and very excited to see it started, because this is coming to strengthen our effort to conserve this forest. Forest of Hope Association works here as a single organization struggling to save the Gishwati biodiversity in this forest. And once it becomes a national park, we will have a government involvement, full government involvement in it. And this ensures that for the future, the population of chimpanzees, of monkeys, the trees and whatever ecosystem services the forest is providing will be maintained and sustained.
We thank very much the Critical Ecosystem Partnership Funds, CEPF. They are supporting FHA to develop a 3-year transitional management plan that will guide activities to the national park. We are working with RDB and other stakeholders. We are using the fund from CPF to establish a committee at the cell level of 3 people who will monitor the work of eco-guards. We thank our partners in research project who are Westchester University, Dr. Aaron and Rebecca, principal investigator of the research project. They have a long-term research project on Gishwati chimps. We thank also Drake University. They are also supporting long-term research about crop breeding.
Forest of Hope Association could not do all of our work without support from people who care about forest, who care about wildlife. We thank you very much, Worldwide Fund for Nature and International Gorilla Conservation Program. We also thank very much the government of Rwanda, from the central government to local government, including local government leaders, including army and national police. Nothing should be achieved if local farmers were not supportive. They have been good listeners, good supporters, because today, if they see a golden monkey traveling far away from the forest in the agricultural plot, they call eco guards and tell them, you know, here there is a monkey, you come and take it back in the forest.
As someone who has facilitated support from the outside world to Forest of Hope Association, it makes me feel very proud to have a very small role in what is going on in Gishwati.
After 7 years leading the Gishwati restoration and conservation, I feel really very, very happy about the achievements, about the interventions from different organizations, from different government institutions, because now Gishwati is attracting everyone to come and see and to come and support. I'm very happy that people, local community, mainly local leaders in the district, have been very supportive from the beginning, and today they are very, very supportive. Without their support, I don't think we could achieve what we are achieving today.